Right, there's been a bit of a gap between my last video and this one, and you know what is an even bigger gap than that? The one between the last update to EA WRC and whenever the next WRC game will come out. You see, a few months ago it was officially confirmed that EA Sports WRC, the latest official WRC game, will receive no more updates, with the last update to the game being the Hard Chargers DLC in March. And there will be no new WRC game until 2027, with Nacon, who worked on previous WRC games prior to EA, taking over the job of making the next game. Now, I have made a video previously talking about this whole situation, so if you want to find out more about that in detail, check out that video in the top right corner. But with well over a year and a half until the next WRC game, this gives us, the community, the opportunity to use the voices that we possess and request things to be added in the next game. So allow me to use my voice and let me give you 5 things I want to see in the next WRC game. Now, before we go any further, a few small things to mention first. Firstly, if you have any other suggestions and features that could be added to the next WRC game that are beyond the 5 things I'm going to be mentioning here, then please leave them in the comments down below and I'll probably make a part 2 of this / reacting to your opinions. Secondly, if you enjoyed the stuff that I create here, then make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel as well. I'm currently aiming to reach 1000 subscribers, so please help me get there. And finally, I bought myself a new mic. Hopefully this is going to be better than the headset mic that I was using previously up until 2 weeks ago. But with all of that now out of the way, let's talk must-have WRC game features. And when talking about these, I will mainly be talking about stuff that are not available or not well done in EA WRC specifically that could be added in the next game, but other games will be mentioned too. But now let's begin, starting with... In EA WRC, we have many stages available to try and survive on, and for the most part, they are all done pretty well. However, I do have 2 slight issues with them. The first of those being the usage of routes. What I mean by this is that some rallies in the latest game, especially the DLC rallies, have a lot of repeated sections. Basically, they just scan 1 or 2 long routes, put them in the game, and then proceed to just cut them into smaller pieces and then make reverse versions of them to get the total stage amount number up and have a high-ish number of stages, when in reality it's just 2 routes cut into pieces. And the cons here are that you will memorize the stages a lot quicker, and in rally leagues for example, you will end up with a lot of repeated roads, which in my mind does take away a bit of the challenge and the excitement that comes with rallying. Something like the Rally Sim Fans version of Richard Burns Rally does this really well, with many unique stages, so many that it'll take ages and ages to memorize everything. So for the next game, I want to see multiple road selections and multiple unique routes, and not just 1 or 2 routes that are just then cut into smaller pieces. And secondly, we need super specials. Super specials are short stages typically taking place on city streets or some kind of stadium or racetrack on a surface that is different from the main rally stage. These stages are also spectator friendly, hence they are really well liked. And these type of stages are nowhere to be seen in EA WRC, though they are available in WRC Generations, the last WRC game made before EA, and these are honestly some of my favorite stages. And not having them in the latest game is such a shame, so adding them would be a thumbs up and would also add more uniqueness to each rally. Pretty much all, or at least most of the rallies on the real life calendar have some kind of super special stage in it, so having all of the super special stages from each rally would be a well liked addition for the next game. Each rally in the WRC takes place in many locations across the world, from Europe to Africa, from Asia to South America, from North America. No, there's no rally up in North America at the moment. But speaking of rallies that are not present, that is a great transition to our next point, which is... the official WRC games feature all of the rallies from the real life championship, obviously. And in the case of EA WRC, which was released in late 2023, it features all the rallies featured in the 2023 championship, as well as adding a couple of rallies that were new for 2024 about a year later. But in addition to those, EA WRC also features a couple of fictional rallies based on locations where the WRC has visited previously. I personally quite like these fictional rallies, and I do want to see more of these. Specifically, I want to see historical rallies. Alongside the official WRC rallies, I want to see actual rallies that the WRC has visited in the past, both in the last couple of years and from many decades ago. Some of the historical rallies I want to see include San Remo, Argentina, Wales, New Zealand, and the US. Having multiple rallies beyond the official WRC rallies would add more unique stages to mess around with, and would also give more flexibility for calendar changes in leagues, for example. And speaking of leagues, I actually run an EA WRC league featuring a Rally 1 and a Rally 2 championship, but we are expanding to other games soon, both in terms of rallying / rallycross and other racing games. So if you're looking for a competitive EAWRC league, then join the Online Racing Championship. Discord link is down in the description below. And whilst you are still here, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel as well to show some support and help me hit 1000 subscribers. I'll be doing a Q&A when I hit 1000 subscribers, so please subscribe. Please. Now, in order to compete in rallying, you need a competitive 4-wheel drive machine to carry you to the end of the stage or into a tree. So point numero 4 for today is... In the 50 plus years the WRC has existed, we have seen many cars compete, some really successful and iconic, others very forgettable. EAWRC features a great selection of cars, both the modern Rally 1, Rally 2 and Rally 3 machinery, as well as a good selection of historic cars including the Audi Quattro Snowplow, the Lancia Stratos and the Peugeot 306 Maxi. A great selection of cars, don't get me wrong, but I feel like a few more could be added. In addition to the cars we already have in EAWRC, I would also like to see the first generation Audi Quattro, the first 4-wheel drive car to win the World Championship, both the hybrid and non-hybrid versions of the Rally 1 cars as they will not be around by the time 2027 rolls around, and I would also like to see Group S cars. For those who are unaware, the Group S cars were meant to be the successor to the Group B regulations, aiming to reduce cost and complexity of the cars while still allowing high performance prototypes. But due to the safety concerns of Group B and its eventual demise in 1986, Group S, which was meant to come into effect in 1987, was also dropped. And these Group S machines, despite being built and pretty much ready to go, would never see the light of day. So having the opportunity to drive these unraced machines would be quite interesting. EAWRC has a good selection of modern and classic cars as I said, but more could be added. And the fifth and final point I'm going to talk about is regarding multiplayer. In EAWRC, you are able to set up multiplayer club championships with the ability to have as many rallies as you want with as many stages as you want, and also be able to select which class of cars will be used in each rally. But there is one issue with this, and that is... in every WRC rally, there are multiple classes competing at the same time. We have WRC using Rally 1 cars, WRC2 using Rally 2 cars, and a Junior WRC using Rally 3 cars. In every stage, all of the top WRC cars go first to set their stage times, and then they are followed by the lower classes. Every single class of cars compete at the same time in the same rally, which is not possible in EAWRC. What I mean by this is that when you are setting up a rally in a club championship, and then when it comes down to selecting which class of cars will be used, you cannot select multiple classes to compete in a rally simultaneously in one single club. This can be a bit of a nightmare, especially if you're running a rally league with multiple classes. In the ORC, for example, where I compete, we have both a Rally 1 and a Rally 2 championship, and for that we need to create two different clubs and split the competitors correctly between the two clubs, which initially doesn't sound that bad until when you need to grab and calculate the results. It becomes a super time-consuming process to calculate all of the gaps, put everyone in the same order, give out the right points to everybody and all that stuff. So allowing multi-class in each rally, so allowing multiple classes of cars to compete simultaneously in the same rally in one single club, would make everything simpler and easier to keep up with. And with all of my 5 must-haves now out there in the internet universe, it is now time for you to give your suggestions on what needs to be added or fixed in the next WRC game. And if you liked my suggestions, then please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel as well and help me reach 1000 subscribers. Like I said, a Q&A is coming if I hit 1k. And on that note, I'ma see you in the next one.